Um, I mentioned that it can be advantageous for a donor to consider making a gift of an appreciated asset as opposed to cash. On this slide, what you see is an example of how that works in practice. So I'll walk through this table here to try to articulate why one might consider, in this case, donating appreciated stock as opposed to making a gift of cash. So in this example here, we'll call this client Bob. Let's say that Bob were to purchase a stock. Let's say Bob purchased Apple stock with $20,000. Hypothetically, that stock will increase in value. So that 20,000 investment in this hypothetical has now increased to $50,000 worth of Apple stock. Now Bob has decided he wants to make a $50,000 gift to East Shore Church. He really has two options to do so based on this holding. One, he could donate the stock directly. The other option, if he were not looking through a very strategic lens, would be to sell the stock and gift the cash. Where there is value to both the organization and to the donor is if he were to gift that stock, there would be zero tax associated with that to Bob. However, if he were to sell that $50,000 worth of stock to raise cash to gift, he would have to pay capital gains tax and potentially a Medicare surtax on the appreciation of that stock. And so that will cost Bob over $7,000. Whereas if he were to gift the stock directly, there would be no capital gains because no part of that asset was ever sold. The result of that decision is that by gifting the stock directly, Bob could gift that full $50,000 value of the stock to the organization. The organization benefits from having $50,000 worth of gift, as opposed to if Bob were to sell that stock, pay the tax of $7,000, and then gift the cash to the organization. Now the organization's only receiving $42,860, and Bob is actually saving less on income taxes by taking that approach. So in the hypothetical where he gifts the stock directly, not only is he benefiting, but the organization is benefiting more so than a cash gift might be. And so that's a simple one that I would keep in front of mind as a donor, especially for any major gifts, is that if you have any appreciated marketable asset like stocks or bonds, to consider gifting those directly in lieu of cash to an organization. And speaking from the organization side, lots of times if it's a marketable investment like a stock, the organization's actually fairly agnostic to that. Because hypothetically, East Shore could receive 50,000 of Apple stock. They could sell that right when it hits the account so that that's converted to cash. It's just converted to cash on the organization side rather than the donor side, so you can avoid that tax. So that is a good option to keep in mind as far as probably a larger gifting strategies.